Hey guys, it's everyone's favorite Dinobot here. Today we're going to be discussing whether or not if Black Panther could survive 2005 Skull Island. This is one of the most dangerous islands, more dangerous than Isla Sorna and Isla Nublar. And this is Jurassic Park on crack. Steroids, cocktails, Molotovs. You guys get the point, right? The evolution of these animals basically untouched by humanity for years and centuries. And we're going to see if MCU T'Challa, not comics, MCU T'Challa can survive this. So for starters, we're going to have to handicap his suit. The reason why is because we need this actually fair, not only for the creatures of this island, but for T'Challa. Both sides had to be able to get killed during this time here. So T'Challa was actually knocked out by a rhino, an armored rhino, in the movie. Yes, he's able to take down the 6-ton rhino, but he was knocked out by it when it gave it a surprise attack. So its limit is pretty much, I would say T'Challa is capable of getting knocked out by the rhino. Then if he gets hit by one of these creatures, or at least snatched up by one of these creatures, he is going to be killed. So anything beyond the level of a rhino, it kills him. That's going to be his handicap for here. They'll be able to bite through and pierce the suit completely. Anything blunt force will not kill T'Challa. Anything piercing will. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at the creatures of this island and discuss whether T'Challa can get food, water, shelter, and be safe while, spending a year. He spends a year on this island. If you guys don't believe me, go check out my previous video on the playlist of survival, or, I'm gonna probably figure out something creative, but it'll just let you know it's gonna be saying survival on the playlist. So yeah, go ahead and check that out, you guys. So now we're gonna have to spawn T'Challa on the coast, right? T'Challa spawns on the coast, and the first thing he's gonna have to watch out for is Tartarosaurus. Now, Tartarosaurus is a bulky 20 to 28 foot long predator and about the size of, I would definitely have to say around maybe a Suchomimus or close enough. It's able to fight against Avrosauruses and even able to prey upon them, which are basically like miniature. Yeah, they're about the size of a baryonyx. So I think it's very safe to say that Tartarosaurus is definitely around that height here. And the problem with this is that T'Challa trying to, well, deal with the likes of a Tartarosaurus is very iffy here. They have rhino-like hide, and they will be able to bite through the armor like I gave them in the original. So these guys will be able to tread T'Challa, and they're highly aggressive. They're actually one of the top 3 biggest predators on the island, with the V-Rex and possibly the Venatosaur is possibly smaller than them. So that's how big these guys are. These guys are loners and sometimes will gang up on prey, but it'll mostly pretty much end up getting them killed here. Next up, we have what can T'Challa do to the island that pretty much just like gets him killed in general. For starters, I would have to say startle a herd unknowingly. If he startles a herd of Ferrocutus or Silva Ceratops, T'Challa can wind up on the menu of another predator. Even the likes of Chaloceratops is all part of this as well, and Brontosaurus. He could get crushed, stampeded, and pretty much trampled to death, having his bones and ligaments pretty much just squashed over and over again. And the sheer fact that these Ferrocutuses are actually very aggressive due to the sheer fact that they have to deal with Vistatosaurus Rex pretty much on the daily, it's understandable why they're highly aggressive. And if he gets a highly aggressive male or bull, yeah, it's GG for T'Challa. Another creature he has to worry about are Venatusauruses. Venatusauruses are basically supersized raptors. So there's really no if, and, or buts about this. If T'Challa is going to survive this, he's going to get jumped and ripped to shreds. These guys are smarter than raptors as well, being capable of pack hunting so well that they're capable of taking down Brontosauruses, okay, which are the biggest herbivores on the island, the absolute biggest, okay. So their pack coordination is so good that they're able to take down a Brontosaurus and being able to prey upon the swift moving prey of Leucochristes and Silvaceratops. Avrosaurus is a omnivorous, an omnivorous Spinosaur. It's able to eat rotten fruits and definitely eat meat as well, but it will occasionally snack on fish if it has to. It's a quadrupedal as well, which is actually pretty interesting. Dinocanosaurus is actually a small cryonodont-like creature, able to give live birth, and they're actually about 2 to 8 feet long. They're not that big, but they'll give T'Challa some problems, as I explain later. There's Photodon, which is a giant land crocodile capable of camouflaging with the environment that it's in and able to use that to get surprisingly very good ambush tactics off. And it's ugly. It's like really ugly, but you'll still miss it. That's the crazy part. Carvers are the jungle's apex predator, more like in the jungly forest areas or like, basically steep jungle forest-like areas. And they're able to use their fangs and teeth to bleed their prey out and wind up eating them. One of their favorite preys, which is Hedosaurus or Hebosaurus, is actually ridiculously messy. Now, in terms of dangers in the water, T'Challa has to worry about at least 3 things. Number 1 is Malamagnus, which are highly aggressive hippo-like reptiles. Then there's Pteranodon, the goat, the OG, the great white shark of these swamps. Yeah, he has to worry about that as well. And pretty much this aquatic insect known as hydrometics or hydrometics. I'm going to call it hydro because, again, the name was pretty hard for me to pronounce anyway. This is a very venomous and big aquatic insect capable of eating larger dinosaurs. He's also, what's the word I'm looking for? There's Diablosaurus, and then there's Diablosaurus, which is highly aggressive, pretty much a herbivore rhino. Then you have Vistatosaurus Rex, which is basically the apex of the island. So let's begin, and let's dive into what T'Challa can gain from this. So for starters, food. T'Challa has to be very careful with the prey he picks because the amount of blood he's going to spill on the forest floor will attract a lot of predators. He can't hunt a Silverceratops or illegal Christies because even if he's able to successfully catch and take it down, he's going to have to at least harvest enough meat from them before the likes of juvenile Vistatosaurus Rexes or Venatosaurus, pretty much come into view and try to eat it. It's very possible he could get a V-Rex by accident, and then boom, now he's going to have to probably abandon the kill, having him starve for the week. Now, there are a couple of characters I do think he would be able to kill. I mean, he'd probably be able to kill just about any herbivore on the island thanks to his claws, and, well, that's pretty much it. That's all he pretty much has. So he has melee weaponry. This island kind of functions on, melee weaponry and stuff. They're not really used to, they're not used to bullets and stuff, but you guys get my point, right? So he should be able to take down a good amount of the creatures there and be able to cook the meat. Now, another thing we're going to have to worry about is water as well. Water is an essential part of basically any survival. Anyone's survival, water is pretty much a part of it. So if T'Challa does not have water here, he's in very, very big trouble here. But the problem is the water is so dangerous on the island, simply taking a drink could get you snatched up by any of the crocodilians like Malvosaurus. And then there's still Pteranodon who can come up like a crocodile. There's even the fact that T'Challa could get ambushed from a predator from behind if he's not careful. So again, T'Challa has to find out where he could get a good source of water. And I would say he would still be able to get it even if he's in danger. Like, he will probably be able to drink his water just in time before a predator can get the jump on him. I do believe T'Challa can definitely get some water just the same way he can get some food. But just like with the food, he's going to have to be very careful with what he gets here. Now, next up, pretty much the final one and pretty much the easiest one, shelter. T'Challa is going to take refuge in trees. I can definitely see him building like a small hut or whatever, and pretty much establishing himself as, probably somewhere near the natives' village, or at least close enough to where they don't attack him and he's not going to attack them. So, can T'Challa actually survive a year on 2005 Skull Island? Now, this was very difficult for me. Like, really, it really was. I really was questioning myself if he would really be able to survive even a night there. But considering how T'Challa is calm enough and collective enough to keep his wits about him and then able to exploit his enemies, especially in the first Black Panther movie, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, and being able to pretty much overcome Killmonger and find a way to pretty much beat the suit that was exactly like his, yeah, I do think he can overcome it. For starters, he would have to use herbivores to find the best sources and safe sources of water. He would actually study the relationship these herbivores have with the predators, meaning that if he goes to a herd of brontosauruses and finds them drinking in the oasis area like they did in the 2005 Kong, he's going to have to be wary of the Venatorauruses or the raptors pretty much trying to get him. He could also probably, and I do think he would probably use Silverceratops as kind of like an alarm system, making sure he seems friendly and calm around the herds. Maybe he would even follow them for food, seeing the plants that they eat and then seeing the berries that they eat. He might even eat one himself to see if it's actually poisonous or if it's actually, edible. Maybe even testing it on a creature that he might be able to discover is kind of human like him. Now, during some breeding seasons, he's not going to be near the waters. That's due to Malamagnus. Malamagnus males are actually pretty aggressive during breeding seasons altogether. And then he's going to have to worry about, getting his own water due to the Pteranodon. The Pteranodon hunts like a crocodile and a great white shark. If you're in the water, GG. If you're even near the shoreline of the water, you better make that drink quick. And there's also the fact that if T'Challa does manage to successfully hunt and eat a Pteranodon, he's going to have to cook it so well that the parasites are no longer in them, because these guys were known for beaching themselves to basically get rid of parasites. So T'Challa's probably going to have to wait till the Pteranodon's done beaching and then hit him up with that spear. T'Challa is definitely crafty enough to make weapons here, and I can definitely see him surviving an entire year on Skull Island. Now for the boss battle. Kong. 2005 Kong. He has to basically knock out or kill Kong in order to leave this island. Can he do it? I would say he's able to knock him out. If he is able to focus all that kinetic energy into the suit without dying, he would be able to do it. I do think he's able to take a lot of attacks from Kong, maybe a couple slaps, and keep his wits about himself. He would probably be able to slash Kong at his joints and be able to furtherly exploit him. Pretty much exploit like the joints, the ligaments, the connection points in order to properly take him down. Okay? Oh, excuse me. So in all honesty, when I do think about it, I do think that Black Panther is able to take this, but not easily. I do think T'Challa will make some mistakes. One of the few mistakes you can actually make on Skull Island is walking into one of the raptors' nests. But to be fair, he is going to be able to learn and get away quick enough in order to survive, avoiding conflict and only choosing conflict if it's the last resort. He will have to fight some of the creatures on the island to pretty much get them away or to pretty much defend what he has. For example, a Tartarosaurus, the Venatosaurus, and you cannot tell me T'Challa fighting a Vastatosaurus Rex would not be lit. Okay? You cannot tell me that would be lit. All right? So in terms of quality or like best out of 10, I can see T'Challa surviving 2005 Skull Island, extreme difficulty with at least a 50% rate. It's good enough to survive here. A 50 to at least 60% rate is good enough to survive. So this means T'Challa should be able to clear with extreme diff. And I'll see you guys later.